guys, welcome back to our podcast, Grim Reading Kings, where we talk about anything and everything spooky and strange. In this series, we discuss murder mysteries.
Yes! Murder mysteries.
Good evening.
I'm Keating rings.
We are the Grim Reading.
Sure, let's do it.
I keep saying Mike, I do apologise. I've got a metronome. What's that?
So mine's under like conspiracy and murder mystery because it's like one of the most famously known murders.
Ooh, and you're going to tell us what it is?
I will when I get to my notes. The JFK assassination.
Ooh, that's a good one. You know, you curl one out or something.
Such a good. Yeah, it's such a twisty old world, but I've done all my research and I found some really cool damning evidence.
I actually don't know much about this. I just know that he was shot.
It was indeed.
And they caught the guy. It's like, that's all that I know.
What
But
did
yeah.
they do? Did they catch the guy or them guys?
They guys.
Or them. Right, so on November 22nd, 1963, John F. Kennedy was the 35th President of the United States and he was assassinated while riding in a presidential motorcade through Dealey Plaza in Dallas, Texas. Kennedy was in a vehicle with his wife Jacqueline, Texas Governor John Connally, and Connally's wife Nellie, when he was fatally shot from behind in Texas School Book Depository by former U.S. Marine Lee Harvey Oswald. The motorcade rushed to Parkland Memorial Hospital, where Kennedy was pronounced dead about 30 minutes after the shooting. Connally was also wounded in the attack, but recovered. Vice President Lyndon B. Johnson was hastily sworn in as president 2 hours and 8 minutes later aboard the Air Force One.
Wow.
What? Would they not have to vote? Or is it like, that's an emergency situation,
No,
like, just get them in?
They've done the vote and now they need someone else from that party to...
Okay.
Yeah, it's like Vice steps in, so
I get it, yeah.
you need someone in charge at least at that moment.
Yeah, definitely.
Oswald returned home after the assassination to retrieve a pistol. He shot and killed lone Dallas policeman J.D. Tippit shortly afterwards. Around 70 minutes after Kennedy and Connally were shot, Oswald was apprehended by the Dallas Police Department and charged under Texas state law with the murders of Kennedy and Tippit. At 11:21 precisely a.m. on November the 24th, 1963, as live television cameras covered Oswald being moved through the basement of the Dallas Police Headquarters, he was fatally shot by Dallas nightclub owner Jack Ruby. Like Kennedy, Oswald was taken to Parkland Memorial Hospital, where he soon died. Ruby? What a great name. Ruby was convicted of Oswald's murder, though the decision was overturned on appeal. And Ruby died in prison in 1967, awaiting a new trial. After a 10-month investigation, the Warren Commission concluded that Oswald's assassination of Kennedy, and there was no evidence that either Oswald or Ruby were part of a conspiracy. Sounds suspicious to me. In 1967, New Orleans District Attorney Jim Garrison brought the only trial for Kennedy's murder against businessman Clay Shaw. Shaw was acquitted. Shaw was acquitted. Shaw was acquitted. Subsequent federal investigations, such as the Rockefeller Commission and Church Committee, agreed with the Warren Commission's general findings. In its 1979 report, the United States House Select Committee on the Assassinations, or the HSCA, concluded that Kennedy was likely assassinated as a result of a conspiracy. The HSCA did not identify possible conspirators, but concluded that there was a high probability that two gunmen fired at the president. The HSCA's conclusions were largely based on the police dictabelt reading, later debunked by the US Justice Department. Again, they keep stepping in and just ruining everything. Kennedy's assassination is still the subject of widespread debate and has spawned many conspiracy theories and alternate scenarios. Polls found that a majority of Americans believe that this was a conspiracy, and the assassination left a profound impact, and was the first of four major assassinations during the 1960s in the United States, coming 2 years before the assassination of Malcolm X in 1965, and 5 years before the assassinations of Martin Luther King Jr. and Kennedy's brother Robert in 1968. Sounds like a cursed family.
Yeah.
Kennedy was the fourth US president to be assassinated and is the most recent to have died in office.
Oh, ooh.
Mm.
That's a...
That's
Like, does that mean it's going to happen like again soon? Like,
well,
or are there better measures put in place now? Because
someone should get rid of Biden, to be fair.
I mean,
Well, he's not long. He's got a few
The
days
amount of
left.
falls that he's had, you would think that he'd be gone already.
He's like your old gran when she like everyone's got like a gran who just like falls and just survives everything. He's like
Yeah.
breaks her hip, breaks her spine, but she's like
yeah,
Grandma who just fell and broke like both her arms and was still like going. Still doing the housework.
Now, the conspiracy side of the story. There's lots of different rumours of who killed JFK. The evidence shows that the 2 bullet shots to the head of JFK are completely different angles. Lots of people believe that Lee Harvey Oswald was working with either the CIA or the Mafia. Lee Harvey Oswald was quoted saying, "I'm just a patsy," meaning a decoy. So he was kind of a distraction for something, people believe. Something strange is that the nightclub owner named Jackie Ruby shot and mortally wounded Oswald on live television in the Dallas Police headquarters basement. Most professionals conclude that Jack Ruby had some sort of mental disorder and that he believed that the killing of JFK was some kind of anti-Jewish act. But also, a lot of people believe that Ruby killed Oswald to stop him releasing the real reason that JFK was assassinated.
Ooh, I like that idea.
There's some twist in here. Just to add more weight to the theory that the CIA were involved, was that the 2 men in the front of the car were both CIA agents, which isn't weird. After the first shot was taken, the driver slowed down to 7 miles an hour, so almost like to give the shooter a better second shot.
Sorry, should we just hit his head on the table?
Or a gunshot. Yeah, the first
Oh my
one, first one
God,
happened, he
yeah.
just slowed right down.
Yeah, what the hell?
Which brings me to the Black Umbrella Man.
Mm.
There,
Oh, okay, yeah.
oh!
Oh!
There was a man with a black umbrella watching a motorcade. Just to add, it was a clear sunny day. Now the strange part. Seconds before the first shot, the man opens his umbrella, which experts believe was a trigger for the shooter to take his shot and for the CIA agents to duck out of the way of JFK, which they did.
What, they actually
just
duck?
before the first shot, they duck.
Oh, there's actual like footage of.
It's on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Cause
Yeah.
I don't think I've actually seen it, but yeah, that'd be cool to
Yeah.
see.
Yes, it's
Both of the assassinations, Harvey Oswald's is on YouTube as
Is
well.
it?
Yeah.
a really famous picture actually, because
Yeah.
it looks, it's the most gangster picture. It's like a man in like a bowler hat, just like
Yeah.
shooting him, yeah. And also, there was also a random lady spotted during the time of the filming of the motorcade, which isn't suspicious. What's suspicious is the entire crowd ran from the scene, and she was seen calmly walking away and smiling. And she has footage, but hasn't released it. No one can find her. So the CIA have been searching for this lady to this day and have zero evidence or answers about her.
Maybe she's a ghost or like a parallel universe, like
Could be, but yeah, it's just,
alien. Or...
there's like a couple of pictures. I think she's wearing pink. There's a couple of little pictures of her. She's just so blatant. It looks like a main character in a film.
That's weird.
Yeah,
That was
so-
a really good slurp as well. Thank you.
I can't help but slurp. Seen these lips? So then you go on to this bit, which is it might have been a mob hit. The Kennedys were no strangers to organised crime. In fact, some believe the mafia helped JFK steal the election in 1960 by securing votes in the key state of Illinois. However, another conspiracy theory has the political dynasty at odds with the mob. This theory hinges on the fact that Kennedy was unsuccessful in overthrowing Fidel Castro in Cuba, meaning the mafia. God, I'm in a different realm in time. Meaning the mafia-run casinos remained shut down, and that his brother Robert Kennedy was cracking down on the mob in his role as Attorney General. Pursuing a case against Jimmy Hoffa, Robert Kennedy had a fear that he had somehow gotten his own brother killed, according to biographer Evan Thomas. That Robert Kennedy's attempt to prosecute the mob and kill Castro had backfired in some terrible way, had blown back, as the intelligent folks say. Bobby thought that he had been killed, not his brother, and now he has this daunting, horrible realization or fear that all of his attempts to get the mob and get Castro have, in some terrible way, blown up and come back to the haunted family, and resulted in the death of the president and his brother.
Wow.
That seems a bit more like legit.
It
Like,
probably
that's
is.
got stuff behind it.
Yeah, the mafia side of things in America, God.
Yeah.
At that time as well, in the 60s, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, to this day, they're still running Vegas. Like if I think my granddad was talking to someone over in Vegas. It must have been a police officer or something because he just chats to the world.
Yeah.
And he was saying how the mafia literally run like Las Vegas. If there's someone being annoying or loud, they're like get rid of them. So they're kind of like a clean-up crew, but like just to make it like more admirable, so people come and spend money there for their businesses.
I mean, fair, yeah. I like that.
I like it, yeah.
Need that in Bristol.
Need it everywhere.
It's too far down. So the cover-up. There were 2 different autopsies on JFK which had different results. The doctors on the scene at Dallas did an autopsy before sending JFK's body to the Maryland Bethesda Naval Hospital for an official autopsy.
Mm-hmm.
In Dallas, the doctors confirmed that the neck hole was an entry wound. When they got the body to Maryland, they changed that to a tracheotomy hole and said when you can't breathe, they put a pipe into your neck, or down your windpipe.
Yeah, okay.
I think, yeah.
Tracheotomy?
Okay. Yeah.
I think it's that word, tracheotomy. Tracheotomy hole, and they said that someone enlarged the hole to insert the tracheotomy tube. Oliver Stone, the actor, director, producer and screenwriter, had some input on the subject. Oliver said that the footage shows JFK leaning back as if he was shot from the front, because he leans back and reacts holding his neck, which debunks the official story that JFK was shot from behind. Because like, that's what everyone's saying, like Harvey Oswald was up in a tower block and he just shot him in the back of the head, but in the footage you can see him go like that and he just goes back.
He goes right to the back of the car because it's an opened, there's no roof. And his wife sort of turns around and just throws herself on his body, like they're right at the back of the car.
Yeah, then like CIA or some CIA bloke just jumps on the back of it and just grabs her out.
Oh, really? Sorry, shall we try to play with the ball?
I can see his tail in the reflection on the globe.
Leave it. Sorry, as you were doing.
He also said that lots of witnesses seen a huge exit wound from the back of JFK's head. They seen the cerebellum falling through the skull and was also witnessed by the doctors in Dallas. So again, if it's an entry wound, it's tiny.
Yeah.
It means his jaw would fall apart. So yeah, everyone saw the cerebellum falling through the skull and was also witnessed by doctors in Dallas. Now, when the apparent illegal autopsy was done in Bethesda, which was controlled by the military, they patched his skull up and changed the wound to a tiny entry hole. Yeah. Allegedly, the military told the medical staff what they could touch and examine. So they're all in the room with them and they're saying, you can only do that, you can't touch this.
So they can't do a full examination, basically?
No, and they patched the back of his skull up to cover everything up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my favourite lazy cover-up story is that a single bullet entered JFK's body and bounced around and hit him an additional 6 times.
What, inside? Like,
yeah.
Like pinball or something?
So there's 7 gunshot wounds.
It was just hollow on the inside.
Yeah. Just going,
like pinball.
It's like a trampoline either side of it. I couldn't believe that's actually a thing. But some people believe that, yeah.
No. That's mad.
Has that happened to anyone else?
What,
just
a magical bullet?
Yeah, like anyone who's been shot. Has that happened to anyone else? Just him?
I think that's the joke on Ridiculous 6, isn't
That
it?
is crazy.
Oh,
How
is
can
it?
that
I don't know.
happen? You'd have to be empty for it to happen.
You'd have to be empty skull to realise that might actually work.
It's not
Might
going to
work for
bounce
me,
off
then.
your skull. It's going to go through it.
Oh, God.
It's just bouncing. It's still going.
It's utter madness. I love it. So in short, the jury's still out on this one, and I'm sure with the cover-ups and the blatant lies, we'll never truly know what happened to the late President John F. Kennedy. So I've got some interesting facts surrounding the assassination. Kennedy had only been in Dallas for about 1 hour when he was assassinated.
What, so you just there? And then
Flew in, they got him in the car and
Yeah.
started the motorcade, and then about roughly an hour later he's gone. And his body left Dallas, flown via Air Force One back to Washington DC, just over 3 hours after the time he landed in Dallas that morning.
What about the thing about don't move the body, don't like...
I think it's when the president, you've got to get that gone quick.
Yeah.
If anyone sees anything about that, I think that's where a lot of the conspiracy started, because it was in the public. They could see something was not right.
Yeah.
When Mrs. Kennedy joined the swearing in of Vice President Johnson aboard Air Force One, remember that was only an hour or so after.
Yeah, after her husband's just been shot.
Johnson's wife asked Mrs. Kennedy if she wanted to change out of her clothes. She still had the same blood-stained clothes on, and it's in the picture as well. And she said, "Oh no, that's all right. I want them to see what they've done to Jack." It's mad.
So she never washed that suit. She still has it, and it's still covered in blood. And she wore it a few years ago, to a memorial for him. Yeah, and it still has his blood
that's
on
a bit
it.
weird.
And it's, so that famous pink Chanel suit is still around. It remains uncleaned and is currently stored inside a climate-controlled vault in the National Archives, and will remain out of public view until at least 2103. So I guess you can put it in like a museum or something after.
Yeah, I mean, is that like a signed thing that it must not be released before this
Or
date?
is she going to die on that day? And then they take it like, what is that day? That's such a weird thing to plan.
Part 2.
Unless they're like, well, she'll be dead by then, so don't worry.
Yeah,
Like,
well, that's what
we've
I
got to
mean.
give a realistic date that she would have been dead by.
That's awful.
I just couldn't believe it. Like when I looked at the picture, you got a picture of her. The next president being sworn in. She just stood there looking so like fucked up, like so happy, and she's just dead next to him, just blood on her.
Or just,
Yeah, and the wife's just staring at her like, "What? Are you serious?"
Yeah.
why did they? Oh no.
Wait a minute. The car John F. Kennedy was riding in when he was killed continues to be used even after his assassination. Initially, the 1961 Lincoln Continental presidential limousine, called X100 by the Secret Service, by the Secret Service, was impounded for evidence after the assassination. However, in December 1963, roughly a month after JFK's death, the White House approved a plan to revamp the car. After some work and testing, it was delivered to the White House. It is lush though, it's a lush
It is
car.
a really
So it
nice car.
still is
That's
just
so
like-
weird.
It'd be somewhere now, but it was still in use in the 60s.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
According to Hill, after Kennedy was shot, Jackie Kennedy screamed, "They shot his head off, I love you, Jack." Right in the car.
I wonder if she was in on it.
I don't know, because
Like, you weren't about to shoot his head off.
Stone Cold Killer.
Kind of like, you're
Her
in-
reaction to it is quite genuine when you
Ah,
watch
okay.
it. She really does like throw herself on him to protect him, and
It is pretty gruesome.
yeah.
The Zapruder film is widely available for viewing on YouTube, where you can see the actual assassination. Warning, it is very graphic. Lee Harvey Oswald attempted to assassinate a former army general several months before he killed Kennedy.
Ooh.
And just, I don't know how they don't keep him in prison.
That's what I find so weird. They're like, oh, don't worry, we'll give him a second chance. It's like, no, one and done, get rid.
Yeah. And
No.
now, my favourite part.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. So if you haven't seen the similarities between President Abraham Lincoln and JFK, this will blow your mind. So President Lincoln was elected to Congress in 1846. Kennedy was 1946. President Lincoln was elected president in 1860, and Kennedy was 1960. President Lincoln's wife lost a child while living in the White House, and so did JFK. Lincoln was directly concerned with civil rights, same with JFK. Lincoln had a secretary, named Kennedy, and told him to, tongue-tied. Lincoln had a secretary named Kennedy who told him not to go to theatre. Kennedy had a secretary named Lincoln who told him not to go to Dallas.
Weird.
Lincoln was shot in the back of his head in the presence of his wife. Obviously, so was JFK.
Mm-hmm.
Lincoln shot in the Ford Theatre, and Kennedy was shot in a Lincoln made by Ford.
I don't know. What?
So confused. So they were both shot on Friday. The assassin John Wilkes Booth was known by 3 names comprised of 15 letters, and the same as Lee Harvey Oswald. Booth shot Lincoln in theatre and fled to a warehouse. Oswald shot Kennedy from a warehouse and fled to a theatre. Booth was killed before being brought to trial, and obviously so was Oswald. Mm-hmm. There were theories that Booth was a part of a greater conspiracy, and again the same with Lee Harvey Oswald. And Lincoln's successor was Andrew Johnson, born in 1808. Kennedy's successor was Lyndon Johnson, born in 1908.
Yeah, there we go. Hi, again. But yeah, you heard that.
Yeah, so that was the crazy story of JFK, and I think as well, because the CIA might be involved, you will never find out what actually happened to him.
No.
There's no
Not
chance.
fully, no.
I wonder if they write stuff down.
No.
What? To like... Or if they did, they burn it early after.
Like meeting memo or something.
I wouldn't have thought so.
Just in Starbucks, like, you ready to kill?
Right on a
do you wanna
Starbucks
go?
cup. Then we can recycle it.
Yeah.
No, I think it was probably all phone calls because you couldn't track them. back then, unless it was through a switchboard, which they wouldn't have had to do.
Unless secretly they could track them because they're, up there.
Well, and they'd have blockers as the CIA. No one can get near them. But if you see like a picture of where the bullets went in, one went in like that. Say is
like from up high.
Yeah, so say that's his head, that's his eyes, his mouth. See?
He's so handsome.
Wait, can you bring it in a little bit, please? Yeah, thank you. Just so we're in the middle.
One went down like that, and one goes across like that.
Oh.
So it's like how if you're in one spot, you can't manipulate a bullet, or unless you can make it bounce around 6 extra times and shoot him.
I mean, if you're going to make it curve under to go up in, then it might bounce around inside.
Then that's some skill you've got. Yeah, that was his murder mystery. I know it was like more of a conspiracy, but
it was still a mystery, wasn't it? For like at least because they didn't catch him straight away, did they?
Well,
Oswald.
70 minutes later.
Yeah.
But they couldn't do anything because he got shot.
And there was 2 people that shot, and they only found one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And obviously staying on the
that
patsy
lady as well.
Yeah, and that freaking smiling lady.
I thought someone was grabbing my hair then, and it was just I was like, shh.
Yeah, the woman's weird. I just don't get that.
No.
I don't
The smiling woman. That is crazy.
Yeah.
That's actually really... Oh, I can't think of the word.
Crazy.
It was crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me what you think. If you have a better theory than mine. Well, it's not mine, but I just went through the internet and found what I could.
You have your own theories, basically.
I have a theory.
Please share.
So, obviously JFK was having an affair with Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, he was.
And she died... When did she die?
Can tell you.
63?
I'll Google it.
So...
Same year?
Yeah. And if you look at the pictures of her before she died, she kind of looks pregnant.
Oh.
1962.
62, right.
Right,
And
JFK
she, it was rumoured that she was pregnant with his child.
Okay,
and that's why
I
she
heard
was
that.
killed, because obviously things didn't make sense about her apparent suicide.
Yeah.
Or unaliving.
That's a
Unaliving.
Yeah, unaliving. Yes, yeah. And I think it definitely links to him. Yeah, there
Being
were a
naughty.
lot of things, because she was rumoured to be having an affair with both the brothers, with Robert as well. Yeah, although they thought the baby was JFK's.
But they would have said that because he's the man in charge, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they would have been.
Yeah.
It's like if you get married, get impregnated by Henry VIII, but also had sex with his brother as well. You'd be like, oh no, it is.
Yeah,
Henry
definitely.
VIII,
His
mate.
brother had been dead for a long time, so if it was that one, then that'd be gross.
Apparently you can do that though. Not that I've looked into this or anything.
Sex with Henry VIII's dead brother?
No.
I hope so.
There's a time after a man has died that they still have semen in their body and they're still able to impregnate a woman. I don't know how I know this. Probably TikTok.
Well, it's so useful. It's a useful tool, TikTok, clearly.
Yeah.
You learn some great things there.
It wasn't. It was from Ugly Betty.
It's got to be true.
So unexpected. So unexpected.
Do you just mean like putting sperm in a sperm bank? Is that what you mean? Or like actually taking it from his balls?
No, taking it from their balls.
From the source.
Imagine if
From the source.
Tom suddenly died and you were like, no! Oh, quick, let's do it because I need to have a baby.
Yeah, like a melon scooper. Got him.
Got him.
Instead of a chopping board, like
Making babies.
bit of spice,
right?
sugar, spice, and everything nice.
The other thing is the family was really, like, there's so much about their family. We have to go into that at some point.
Conspiracy episode.
Yeah.
It's
Because
such a
they
huge
had a
subject.
secret sister that they didn't
Did
really...
they?
Yeah.
Like
So, I won't go into it too much, but they basically put her in a facility.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want her to, like, crap on their reputation, basically.
Okay.
But she was quite mentally ill.
Yeah.
Couldn't, do anything for herself.
Yeah.
And they basically made her have a lobotomy, which made her a lot worse. And they sort of put her away after that and just forgot about her until she died.
They used to do that though to people, but they thought they would be helping, but like
They did.
it never helped.
And shock theory and shock therapy. Sorry.
I don't know if she had that as well, but
Probably.
I mean, yeah, if you're going to do a lobotomy, then probably.
I don't want to go off topic too much, but talking about that kind of thing, there's a story. There's like a mental hospital, and they used to. One of the things you put them in a pool of cold water and electrocute the water itself.
Oh my god.
So, like, Can you imagine? So not only your body's freezing, you're actually getting shocked at the same time. They're like, "This will
How
help
do they
you."
not die? Like if you got in the bath with a toaster, you die, right? So how do they not die?
It's
Try it and find.
yeah.
Let us know.
I'm going to.
I think it's like, I guess it's like just a resistor on it. It's just like a really low charge, and they just up it just to see.
Yeah.
I think that's why most mental homes had like graveyards on site. They just
Yeah.
them.
I'm sure they're like used as test subjects as well, though. Really, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
That's
how
another
much
one
can
to
the
go
body-
into.
Human body take, but yeah. Anyway, JFK.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's been.
Crazy.
That's quite the case.
I think it definitely was like a conspiracy. I don't think it was just a random person, like with John Lennon, he got killed by some crazy person. I think
Yeah.
there's a lot more to this.
So my theory, sorry, I haven't quite
That's
went
okay.
off subject, but what if someone was completely in love with Marilyn Monroe? Because she is still to this day like the most beautiful woman to ever have lived. Like if you say who's the most beautiful woman ever, most people say Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that no man got obsessed with her? Like so many men get obsessed and kill,
Yeah.
but not over Marilyn Monroe? Seems like, although it was too planned to just be some crazy dude shooting someone,
Yeah.
but, and plus it was two people, but still.
I wonder if to this day that's like why all the motorcade, like the presidential cars, have like they're just roofed up. They got bulletproof glass.
Yeah.
Because he's just there chilling in a Lincoln, just like
Well, think about.
lovely.
Well, that was the first and last time it happened, wasn't it? So
Yeah.
you can see why they had to put those measures in place.
But yeah.
Cool.
Wow.
Remember to subscribe and like this.
I can subscribe. Our upload days are Monday to Patreon and Spotify and oh god, what RSS feed? I can't remember all the
distributes the world.
others. There's lots. And then on Thursday we upload to TikTok. Might like sneak some other little bits in there as well on TikTok here and there. And then on Friday we have our YouTube video when you get to actually see us in the flesh.
Yeah, and our cool background.
That is a horrible word.
Flesh.
Oh yeah.
I hate it so much. It really just
I
makes
love
me
it.
feel off.
It's like moist.
I don't know, I don't mind. I don't mind moist.
Moist flesh.
Blow J. First one. Oh yeah, please subscribe. You're clearly going to love this channel.
And we'll see you and you'll hear us next week. Bye.